Welcome back, my fellow Pixelator Army, and as you can see in today's build, we're going to be building none other than, yes, that is right, the infinite 10-year-old himself, none other than as Ketchum, and as you can see here he is right here, that we have built, which you're going to be building today in your world, and as you can see this is Ash Ketchum in his indigo look from, obviously the very first series that Ash kind of appears in, which is looking very awesome, and not to mention, he's got a Pokeball, he's got his cap, we got everything he needs. Now one of the things that's actually going to be really kind of fun and interesting about this design is that this is his indigo look, which is kind of interesting because you kind of get to see how old the style was back then in terms of, you know, the artwork for Ash as well, very much more refined now, and not to mention the animation quality obviously has improved, well, a lot as well. Regardless of that being said as well, one thing I do want to say just quickly before I do get into the tutorial, it is also very sad to see Ash leave the series now, which I'm sure for those Pokemon fans as well, you're very heartbroken as well, but I also am very excited for the future as well to see how Pokemon is going to now be. Will it be different? Will it be actually fun with a new character? Who knows? But I am excited to see, you know, what's going to happen. Though, I always am going to say this, sometimes some changes just aren't needed, and a lot of changes where you make but fans don't enjoy it, well, let's just say the backlash becomes quite big, because we've seen that for a lot of video games, and we've seen it from series as well. But anyway, with that being said, without further ado, enough rambling on about Ash himself, let's actually get into building this, because once again, we all know he's a very cool character, and this is just kind of something that it's fun to build, and it's in memory of our heart. Anyway, let's get into the build. So then, now into the building phase. So first of all, there's a few things that we need to explain, obviously, for those that are new and for those that already know what's going on. Obviously, there's going to be a time for you guys to skip ahead to, but not right yet. Before we get into that time, let me explain a couple things, obviously, you do need to know. So first thing first, here is a list on the screen of all the blocks you're going to be needing. So you just want to pause the video and grab all of those blocks, which you might notice is there's quite a lot of colors, considering that this build is, well, really small. But yeah, there's a lot of blocks. So just, once again, pause the video, grab all those blocks. Once you grab those blocks, you're going to pause the video. Is, first of all, the dimensions of this build. Now, the dimensions of this build, as you probably noticed, this build is a lot smaller than our usual build, so it won't be as big as this build right here, as you can see. But this build is actually only going to be 200 pixels in height, and it's going to be 150 in width. Now, as you know, we always start in the bottom left corner, just for example, as you can see right over there, always in the bottom left corner. And again, 150 in height and 200 in height, which means you're going to be building 4 50 by 50 quadrants going up, and 3 going to the right, which is by 150. And with that being said, once again, for those that already know what's going on, you know how to mark out the quadrants quickly, you know how to do this tutorial, here is the time for the screen for you guys to skip ahead to. For those that are new to the channel and don't know what's going on, and let me just give you a nice little brief explanation to how things work here. Essentially, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you my design cut up into 50 by 50 quadrants, kind of like this, but on Photoshop, and you're going to be able to see all the colors, all the pixels to where they go, and see what all the colors are. Now, what I'm going to be doing throughout this video is I'm going to be explaining the colors, so you know what colors, what they look like in Photoshop, to what those colors represent in Minecraft. So I'm going to be explaining those colors, and essentially what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be copying in the outline. So basically, essentially, it's exactly the same as copying off a grid, and we do it in 50 by 50 quadrant sections because, well, it's a bit hard to obviously show the entire thing at once because, well, they're so big, you can't see all the pixels smoothly and nicely. So with that being said, the way the quadrants work is we start in the bottom left corner, you go all the way to the right until you finish with the first line, fly back to the left, you move up to the second line, all the way to the right, repeat the same process. So that's how the tutorial side works, and then how do you mark out the quadrants nice and quickly so you don't have to try and count 49 to the right, 49 down, 49 to the right and all that. No, it's not like that. It's actually very simple. Essentially all you gotta do is, for example, if I fly down to here, essentially what you would do is you would start in the bottom left corner right here, as you can see. You would place 49 going all the way up. So again, you place 1 in the bottom left corner, and then you place your 49 on top. Obviously, that equals 50. Once you place that 49 on top, you place your 1 to the right. Once you place that 1 to the right, you fly all the way back down to the bottom, and then you place your 49 going to the right. Once you place that 49 to the right, you place your 1 on top. You fly underneath by 1, you place your 1 to the right, you place your 1 on top, and you place number 49 going to the right, and basically you keep repeating that same process until you finally done all the quadrants. Obviously for this one, we've already got one more to do after this, because again, it's only 150 to the right, which means you're only doing 3 quadrants going along to the right. So quite simple for this one, and essentially what you want to do as well, which give me 1 second here. And essentially what you want to do is try to make things quite easier. When you basically done with your third quadrant, so we've already got 3, so I just go over to this number. Essentially, once you've basically now placed that 1 on top, basically right here, you want to jot down what this corner is. And you want to make sure you're jotting down the right corner. So when I say not, I don't mean like the right in terms of the right, the correct corner. So it could be the left or the right depending on the way you're facing. So if I basically move left and right here, as you can see, it's my right corner that's moving, which means for me, it is the right corner. But for example, if I was looking this direction, and I'm going left and right, you can see it's my left one moving. So if your left and right one's moving when you're going left and right, that means that is the coordinate you want to jot down where your one is on top of. And again, for me, that is the one to my right. So that means I need to make sure I remember 234. So 234, basically, once again, once you basically mark that one, stick it up there, you just fly it back to the left, and fly back up to that one you placed to the right. Once you've flown back to that one you placed to the right, all you do is again repeat that same process but going up now. So you just place, you fly back to the left by 1, so basically to the top left corner. You place your 1 on top, your 1 to the right, and then you go up by 49. You place your 1 to the right, you fly back to the left, you place your 1 on top, you place your 1 to the right, you fly back to the left, you place your 49. And again, repeat that same process until you're finally done. Again, because it's 200 in height, you want to do, and again, you want to do 4 50 by 50 quadrants going up. So again, 4 going up, 3 going to the right, and that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 as you can see. And again, 1, 2, 3. But essentially, once you have done that 4th one and you place that one to the right, now all you do is basically go all the way to the right, and you want to go all the way to the right to 234. Obviously, not the 234, but for me, that would be 234. Once I basically go all the way to 234, all you're going to do is just you're going to go all the way straight down and connect to that one basically that we're sticking up. Once you basically connect to that one sticking up, it then gets very simple from that point on. So you would have 2 sticking up here, 2 sticking up here, 2 sticking out to right there, and right there. And essentially all you want to do is fly to the first one. For example, it doesn't matter which way you start first. Again, as long as you do this the correct way, essentially, you would start from the left hand side from this one sticking up. You go all the way up until you hit the very top line. Once you do that, you fly to the right by 1. You go all the way down, you connect to the other one sticking up there as well. And again, repeat that same process for the next line. Obviously, you don't need to do it for the next line because, well, it's already marked out by the 1. So when you really do it for 2 for this one, obviously, again, a lot shorter. And then for the one sticking out to the right over here as well, again, repeat that same process, but this time it's to the right and left. So you go all the way to the right, you fly up by 1, you go all the way to the left. Go back up to the next one, all the way to the right, fly it by 1 all the way to the left, and again, repeat that same process. Only one more line from here as well, and essentially once you do that, you're then done. So that's how to mark up the quadrant outline quickly. That's how tutorials work here. Once again, for those that already have skipped ahead, you're already on Photoshop and stuff like that. So we're going to now go and cut to Photoshop for those that are already that step ahead. So let's go and cut the Photoshop now, shall we? So then moving into Photoshop, as you can see right here, here is our Ash Ketchum design in its kind of full flesh and blood, and as you can see, this is what it looks like just kind of all together right here. And yes, as you can see, today's background color is going to be this very light neon kind of shade of pink, which is going to be our background shade for Ash Ketchum, which for those that don't know what background means, basically background means that nothing is going there as it is the background. Again, obviously, as you see in my pixel arts, I never had a background. It's basically just to kind of show you, don't fill in these colors, or don't fill in this area, because that is the background color. Anyway, with that being said, without further ado, let's go move on to our first quadrant, shall we? So then, starting off with our first quadrant in line 1, which we're not going to go over, well, we'll go over the lines, but again, it's going to be very short in today, but there is also a lot of colours to explain. Considering the fact this design is small, there is a lot of colours. But anyway, let's start this, shall we? So first thing first, here is the background right here. Once again, this light pink shade, this very neon pink shade. This is our background, so nothing's going in this area here, and the same with this little area above right here, that is also background, so nothing's going in those 2 areas right there. First of all, starting off with our blue colours, this darker blue is going to be our blue concrete. So blue concrete is going to be going in this section here and this section right here. And then with this lighter blue shade right here, this is going to be our blue wool. So our blue wool is going to be going in this section right here, as you can see. Moving over to the left, this is part of the skin tone shade you can see right here. And this lighter shade is going to be our birch wood planks. So birch wood planks for our lighter shade, and our darker shade right here is going to be our oak wood planks. So once again, this shade right here is also going to be our birch wood planks, and once again, this darker shade here as well is going to be our oak wood planks. They might look a bit different, but they are two different shades, or they are the same shade. They might look different in Photoshop, but they are the same in Minecraft. And again, there's oak wood planks in here and here, birch wood in here and here. Then for our green shades, our lighter shade of green is going to be our lime concrete. So that's going to be our lime concrete in there. And for our darker shade, that is going to be our green concrete powder in there. And then moving over to the right into these sections over here. For our lighter shade of blue, this is going to be our light blue wool in this section right here. So all light blue wool in here and to the right over here. This section here, and this top left gap there, and to the right over there. And then our darker shade for this area right here, this cyan color. This is going to be our cyan wool inside here, 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 and that little one right there. And then moving above into the belt area, this brown shade is going to be our brown wool. This light grey shade is going to be our clay. So our clay is going to be going in here. So our clay block in here and here. And then this darker shade of like light grey, this is going to be our light grey concrete in this section right here. So light grey concrete inside this section right there. And then moving above into our final colours, this darker shade, which kind of looks greeny grey, this is going to be our grey concrete in here. And then our lighter shade of grey is going to be our grey wool. So grey wool inside here and grey concrete inside the darker shade. With that being said, as you can see once again, for all of the rest of the dark black outline, as you guys already know, that should be the first thing you always do, and that's going to be our black concrete. Now obviously, as I said, with this tutorial, you can do it any way you want. If you want to do it horizontally, you can do that. Upwards, you can do that. Obviously, that becomes, well, a lot more difficult, but once again, you can do it any way you want. But my recommendation is always do the outline first, obviously, because, well, it's a lot easier, and it's also the simplest thing to do. But anyway, as you know, guys know, yes, the outline is going to be our black concrete. So once again, all of these dark outlined areas is going to be our black concrete, as you can see. And yes, all this section right here as well, that's all going to be black concrete inside that dark black section right there that's filled in. So again, all the rest of the outlined areas is black concrete. So once again, you just want to fill out your outline. Once you've done that, then you can go and fill in your colours. With that being said, once again, you just want to pause the video and fill in layer 1. Once you have done layer 1, you can unpause the video and move into layer 2 on, again, line 1. So then moving into layer 2, as you can see right here, having a look at our colours. Once again, this light blue shade for the pants area. That is going to be our light blue wool in here, 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 and here. So again, light blue wool for those trousers area. And our cyan color, once again, is our cyan wool inside section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there as well. Once again, moving back into the belt. Once again, you probably already know all the colors for these sections, but we're always going to explain it because sometimes they might look the same, but they could be different. But anyway, once again, this is going to be our brown wool inside here, and to the left into the belt section. Once again, this is going to be our clay block for the lighter grey shade. For the darker light grey shade, that's our light grey concrete. For the section above, once again, for this darker shade, that's our grey concrete. Once again, for our lighter shade, that is our grey wool. Moving over to the right, as you already know, this blue section here is going to be our blue wool. And for the darker blue, once again, that's going to be our blue concrete. And then for our new color, for this yellow shade, this is going to be our yellow wool inside this section right here. And as you already know, once again, for all of the rest of the dark black outlined areas, that is going to be our black concrete in all of these areas, as you can see right here. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of that in. Once you have done that, you can unpause the video and moving into our final quadrant on the first line into layer 3. So then moving into layer 3, as you can see right here, once again, this neon pink shade is our background, so nothing's going to be going inside here. And then looking over to the left, as you can see, this dark blue section is going to be our blue concrete inside here. And then this dark yellow section is going to be our yellow terracotta inside this section right here. And then once again as well, this lighter yellow section is going to be our yellow wool. And again, this lighter blue shade is our blue wool in those sections right there. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of that in. As you already know, yes, the black outline is our black concrete. And once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of that in. Once you have done that, you are now done with the first line. So that means you need to fly back to the left. And we're going to move over into layer 4 on the second line. So moving into layer 4 on the second line. So then moving into layer 4 on the second line, as you can see right here, once again this neon pink shade right here is our background, so nothing's going to be going inside this area right here, as you can see. Moving on to the fist area, as you can see once again, this lighter shade of skin tone for Ash is going to be our birch wood planks inside these 4 areas, or 5 areas right here for the fingers. And then moving on to the green shade, once again this lighter green shade is our lime concrete inside here. And once again this one little dark shade right here is our green concrete powder. Moving over to the right over to here, this lighter blue shade, this is going to be our blue wool inside here. And moving over to the left right here, this lighter white shade, this is going to be our white wool inside here, above here. And for this one little section above in the top right corner right here is also going to be our white wool. And then for our lighter grey shade right here, this is going to be our light grey concrete powder inside this area. And then moving over to the right, once again, the dark grey is our grey concrete. And once again, the light grey is our lighter grey colour. Again, is our grey wool inside this section here. And once again, as you already know, the dark black outline is going to be our black concrete. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of this in. Once you have done all of layer 4, we can move ahead into layer 5. So then into layer 5, as you can see right here, once again starting off with the kind of middle section to the left, as you can see this lighter grey shade is going to be all our grey wool going up into section above right here as well. And once again that little darker area for our grey wool is going to be our grey concrete inside this section right here. Once again, our lighter shade of blue inside this section right here and to the section over here to the right is going to be our blue wool. And once again, this darker shade all the way over to the right here is going to be our blue concrete inside this section right here. Then moving over to the 2 little kind of button areas, that is yellow. This is going to be our yellow wool in both of those areas right there. And as you can see, we have a couple of different white shades, or kind of a lot of kind of grey white shades in this area. And as you can see, for section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to be our white wool. So all of those white sections is going to be our white wool. And then for this section down below, this is going to be our light grey concrete powder inside this section right here. And then this section above right here, kind of for this lighter grey slash white shade, this is going to be our white concrete inside this area right here. And then once again for the skin tone shade, for the darker skin tone, that is our oak wood planks. For the lighter shade, that is going to be our birchwood planks in this section right here. And once again, for all of the rest of the dark black outline, that is going to be our black concrete. So once again, you just want to outline it, fill in all your colours. Once you've done that, you want to pause the video again, fill it all in, and then we can move ahead into layer 6. So then moving into layer 6, as you can see right here, once again, this neon pink is going to be our background shade right here. As you can see, this is all going to be our background right here. And as you can see, this darker blue shade over to the left right here is going to be our blue concrete all inside this section right here, as you can see. And then section 1 and 2 right here for our grey shade. This is going to be our light grey concrete powder in both of these sections. And then looking over to this section right here, as you can see, this section for the darker skin tone shade is going to be our oak wood planks. So again, oak wood planks is going to be going inside this darker shade of skin tone right here. And for this, again, once again, white slash light grey shade, this is going to be our white concrete in this section above right here for the Pokeball. And then for the white shade for the Pokeball, that is going to be our snow block inside this section right here. And once again, same thing for all of the dark black outlined areas, that is going to be our black concrete for all of these outlined areas, as you can see. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of this in. Once you're done layer 6, we're going to go move ahead into our third line into layer 7. So fly all the way back to the left and moving up to layer 7. So then moving into layer 7, we don't have too much going on here, and as you can see, a lot of it's going to be our background, as you can see in layer 7. And then moving over to the bottom right corner, as you can see, that white shade right there is going to be our white wool inside this section right here. And then moving up to a bit of the skin tone area, once again, all this light shade right here in all section 1, 2, and 3 is going to be our birchwood planks in all of these sections. And for all of the rest of the dark outlined and filled in sections, this is all going to be our black concrete, as you can see. So all black concrete for all of the outlined and this filled in section for the hair. So again, all black concrete all of those outline sections. So with that being said, you just want to pause the video and fill in layer 7. Once you've done layer 7, we can go and move ahead into layer 8. So then moving into layer 8, as you can see right here, once again this neon pink in this section 1 and 2 over here is our background, so nothing's going to be going in these two areas right here, as you can see. Now we do have quite a few more colors to explain here. Starting off in the bottom left corner for our white shade for section 1 and 2 and 3 right here. This is all going to be our white wall in section 1, 2 and 3 on all side of those 3 sections. And then for the section above, for section 1 and 2, this is going to be our light grey concrete powder inside those 2 sections right there. For the middle section for the grey for section 1 and 2, that's our lighter shade of grey, so that's going to be our grey wall inside those 2 sections. For the section above in the neck area for the darker shade, that is going to be our oak wood planks inside section 1 right here, and all the way over to the right in section 2, just in that little bottom right corner right there, as you can see as well. And for section 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for all of the face, that is going to be our birch wood planks for our lighter skin tone shade. And then moving over to the Pokeball, once again the lighter shade of the Pokeball for the white shade, that is going to be our snow block just inside this area right here. And for the eyes as well for section 1, 2, 3 and 4, and including the Pokeball that is section 5, that's all going to be snow as well. So again, for all of the eyes as well, it's all going to be quite nice and simple, just going to be snow inside those sections as well. And for the red for the Pokeball, that is going to be our red wall inside this section, as you can see right here. And then for the pink shade for section 1 and 2 right here, that is going to be our pink concrete. And again, just the pink shade in the Pokeball, not the neon pink, just the pinker shade right here. That is our pink concrete in section 1 and 2 right there. And also pink concrete is going in section 3 for the mouth as well. So pink concrete is also going to be in the mouth inside this section right here, as you can see. And then for the darker red shade, kind of in the upper left corner of the mouth, so kind of more back deeper into the mouth, this is going to be our red nether brick inside this section right here. So again, red nether brick for the inside of this mouth part right here in the upper left corner. And for our final shade, as you can see, for this light grey slash kind of darker shade, this is our light grey concrete inside this section in the middle for the Pokeball. And then once again, as you already know, for all of the rest of the outline sections, that is going to be our black concrete. So once again, you just want to mark out your black outline for your black concrete. Once you've done that, you can then fill in the colours, obviously making it a lot more simpler. And yes, for section 1, 2, 3 and 4, again for all of the rest of the filled in sections for the eye and the hair, again that's all our black concrete, as you can see. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill in layer 8, and once you've done layer 8, we're going to go and move ahead into layer 9. So then moving into layer 9, as you can see, we can seeing the rest of the Pokeball now. And once again, for all of this neon pink shade, that is going to be our background. So nothing could be going inside this area right here, as you can see. Moving into the Pokeball, as you already know, for the darker shade of the Pokeball, that's going to be our white concrete inside this section right here. For the white shade, that's going to be our snow block. For the middle right here, this is going to be all our light grey concrete for this grey shade right here. For the middle of the Pokeball for section 1 and 2, again, that's also going to be our snow block inside both of those sections right there. For the section above for the red, that is going to be our red wool. For the section above here for the pink shade, that's our pink concrete. Once again, for section 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, that's going to be our birchwood planks for the skin tone for the lighter shade. And for the darker shade, once again for section 1, that's going to be our oak wood planks inside that section right there. And once again for all of the rest of the dark outlined areas and all of the hair, as you can see, that's all going to be our black concrete. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill in your outline. Once you've done your outline, you then want to go into your colors. And once you've done layer 9, that is our third line done. And we're now going to be moving on to our fourth and final line into layer 10. So flow all the way back to the left to move over to layer 10. So then on to our final line into layer 10, as you can see right here. Once again, this background shade for the neon pink is going to be all background. So all background is going to go inside this section right here, as you can see. And once again, for the skin tone shade for the lighter shade, that's our birchwood planks inside section 1 and 2. And for our red shade, that's going to be our red wool for the cap. And then once again, for all the rest of the outlined sections and filled in sections, that is going to be our black concrete for those dark black outlined filled in areas. So once again, just pause the video and fill in everything for layer 10. Once you've done that, we're going to go and move ahead into layer 11. So once again, moving into layer 11, as you can see, once again, this neon pink background shade is our background, so nothing's coming inside this area, as you can see. Once again, starting off with the face, as you can see for section 1 and 2 for the white, that is going to be our snow blocks inside these two sections right here. Once again, for the skin tone shade for section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the lighter skin tone shade, that is going to be our butch wood planks. Moving into the red for the hat, once again, that is going to be, or I should say cap, but once again, for the cap, that is going to be our red wool inside section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as you can see. So all going to be red wool for the cap section, and then for the white section for the cap, that's going to be our white wool inside this white section right here. So once again, you just want to pause the video for layer 11 and fill all of it in. And as you already know, yes, the outline is all going to be our black concrete. So all black concrete for all of these dark outlined areas and filled in areas for the hair, as you can see. So again, just pause the video and fill all of this in. Once you've done layer 11, we're going to be finally moving on to our final layer, layer 12, to complete our infinite 10-year-old Ash Ketchum from the Indigo League. So then moving into layer 12, as you can see, is also the least we have to do as well. And once again, for all of this neon pink, that is our background, so ignore all of that, so nothing's going into here. And all you've got to do is fill in your red section for 1, 2, and 3, which is going to be red wool. And once again, for all of the rest of the outline / filled in section for our dark area for the black, once again, that's all going to be black concrete. So once again, you just want to pause the video and fill all of that in. Once you have filled in layer 12, you are finally complete with Ash Ketchum, which means we can now go and zoom out. Well, actually, before you zoom out, you want to make sure you go and destroy all your bookshelves from behind the design. Once you've destroyed all your bookshelves, once you complete the design, you can now zoom out and have an epic look at what we've built into our Minecraft world. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at what we built in Minecraft. And there we go. Once again, this is what you should have built in Minecraft, as you can see right here. So here's Ash Ketchum in the flesh, once again looking like he does from the Indigo League, with a nice little Pokeball as well, just to kind of add it on to the design. And there you go. That's everything you should have built right there in your very own world. Once again, if you did enjoy this build and this helped you out in any way and you enjoyed it and you want to see more tutorials here, make sure to go and hit that like button and subscribe, and let me know down below in the comments if you've got any suggestions for builds yourself. I'm not going to guarantee doing these suggestions, but once again, if you do have any suggestions, that something that might pique my interest or something that might be cool for a community vote pool, then let me know in the comments down below. Also, I do want to say that we are trying to continue the Pokemon. We do have a lot of designs coming out, a lot of designs already done and designed, just kind of waiting for it to be released in a tutorial because I need to build it myself in the world to actually get all the colors, as you can see. But regardless of that being said, for Pokemon designs in the future that we do have coming, just in case anyone wants to hear a bit of insider information, we do have none other than the Venusaur finally coming out. I know it should have been out a while ago, but that should be coming out very soon, as well as Mega Venusaur. Gigantamax Venusaur is going to be built soon. Now, the Gigantamaxes, I don't know if I'm actually going to continue doing all of them, because they are very hard to do. Just because, well, as you know, they're very big. There's also not really a lot of references, or like a lot of times you see Gigantamaxes. I am trying to do them, but they are just difficult to do. Venusaur's actually done, it's all good. I'm actually working on the Charizard one very soon, and that one's, yeah, it's not easy. Like, again, like, they're Gigantamax for a reason, so they're very big. It's very hard to put that into a kind of smaller format and actually look good, but we are trying to do them, but man, oh god, when we get to Center Scorch, oh, I don't even know how I'm going to do that one. But regardless, what I am currently working on as well, Charmander is designed, Charmeleon is designed as well, Charizard is also designed, and now I'm just working on the Charizard Mega X, then we've been working on to Y, and then again we'll be trying Gigantamax, but I might put Venusaur Gigantamax on hold just until I see how Charizard's going to look, because again, the Gigantamaxes are quite hard to design, but I do want to try and design them all, but let me just say this, they are very difficult. But regardless of that being said, that's all the Pokemon tutorials that are kind of in the works, coming soon. So regardless of that being said, without further ado, guys, I will see you in the next video. Once again, if you did enjoy this video, you haven't hit that like button yet, we much appreciate if you go and hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, we'll find something about often, make sure to go and subscribe. It's completely for free. It's much appreciated. It helps out a lot. And if you do want to become a channel member, support my channel in an extra way, do consider becoming a channel member, as you will get a bunch of benefits, perks, and kind of cool emotes during live streams, and your own access to community vote pools for channel members as well. So that being said, without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. So peace out, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.